To our classmates, and of course to our professor in methods of research, Miss Rains Vito, good morning. I am Janice Pugay together with my fellow proponents, Raquel Ventura and Navilin Chentes, and we are the Group 2. Today, we are about to propose our research entitled Effectiveness of Lancium domesticum pill as a mosquito coil repellent in Binondo, Manila. Given that today is pandemic and the majority of people are at home, the danger of dengue and mosquito bite illnesses has increased. It cannot be denied the fact that there is still a surge of dengue fever in the middle of pandemic. And since then, the mosquito coil has become the most widely used and affordable method of preventing mosquito bites worldwide. However, according to Hogarth 2018, the continued use of mosquito coils has created significant environmental health problems and poses risks to human and animal health. It has been proved that it is harmful to wildlife and water sources during both manufacturing and use. And it is extremely toxic to birds and aquatic life. That was alarming, wasn't it? However, the good news is that in our country, there is a safe and natural mosquito repellent that can be used. Our country, the Philippines, is one of the well-known producers of Lancium domesticum, or popularly known as lanzones. Lancium domesticum pills have long been recognized as an effective insect repellent due to the fruit's triterpenoids, which have repellent effects. The University of the Philippines Rural High School reveals that the efficacy of Lancium domesticum pill or lanzones as a repellent is comparable to that of commercial available mosquito coils, which are extensively used as a mosquito repellents. In other words, the researchers' objective is to develop a safe and affordable mosquito repellents.
For the statement of the problem, this study was undertaken to find out the effectiveness of Lancium domestic pill as a mosquito coil at Barangay 292 Binondo, Manila. Specifically, this study tried to answer the following research question, which are what is respondent demographic profile in terms of their age, gender, social status. What is Lancium domestic pill mosquito coil, repellent, and commercial mosquito coil based on smoke, smell, life-spilling mosquito. Is there a significant difference in the following characteristic between the Lancium domesticum mosquito coil and commercially available mosquito coils in terms of smoke, smell, lifespan, and repelling mosquito? And the last one is what is better to use, a mosquito coil made of Lancium domesticum pill or a commercially available mosquito coil?
In the Philippines in 2021, 61,170 cases, including 216 deaths, have been reported as of October 23. There has been an increase of 28,615 cases and 97 deaths since July 3, 2021. That was according to Dengue 2021. There is growing concern about the adverse health impacts associated with the burning of mosquito coils and stick indoors. The insecticide products used are generally considered safe, but it's the particular matter produced from a smoldering mosquito coil that possesses the greater risk. According to Dr. Sandeep Salvi, burning one mosquito coil in a closed room is about equivalent to smoking 100 cigarettes, according to Cannes 2014. Lanzones pills can be used as a natural repellent for mosquitoes. When the rind is dried and burned, it emits an odor that repels mosquitoes, according to National Committee on Urban Pest Control Training Institute 2021. Additionally, it was used as an incense. Burning lanzones rind contribute to the reduction of odor produced by ill people. The pills are burned in the room containing the sick people, according to National Committee on Urban Pest Control Training Institute. Similarly, in Java, the dried peel is burned, with the aromatic smoke acting as a mosquito repellent and as incense in the room of sick people. The University of the Philippines Rural High School confirms the effectiveness of the Lanzones peel as an active ingredient in mosquito coils, even more effective than commercial mosquito coils when placed close to mosquitoes. The University of the Philippine Rural High School used sun-dry method in drying the Lancium domesticum peel in the making of mosquito coil. In contrast to the methods of previous researchers, the National Committee on Urban Pest Control Training Institute says that sun-drying the peel of Lancium domesticum reduces its effectiveness as a mosquito repellent. Rather than sun-drying, air drying is recommended.
For the conceptual framework, the figure represents the relationship between input, process, and output. The ECO model demonstrates the effectiveness of the Lanthium domesticum pill as a mosquito coil by describing how data will be collected, evaluated, and quantified to address the research questions. So the input are the demographic profiles of the respondents and Lanthium domesticum pill mosquito coil. So on the process, with administering the product testing, and we will collect data through survey questionnaires. The type of questionnaires we will use are 5-point Likert rating scale and recognition questionnaire. Then we organize the responses of respondents, and we will use statistical treatment, and we will analyze the data. So the output will be the assess of mosquito coil using Lanthium domesticum pill.
For our research design, this study used a quantitative research design because the research goal is to collect numerical data that can be analyzed quickly. To be more specific, the study used a pre-experimental research design as the study goal is to develop a mosquito coil made from Lanthium domesticum pill and to establish a cause and effect relationship between Lanthium domesticum mosquito coil repellent and to the people who lived in Binondo, Manila's Barangay 292. Pre-experimental research is the best designed to use by the researchers because it only requires one group to receive the treatment and determine if there is a probability of causing a change. According to Mitchell 2015, experimental research design is primarily concerned with producing research that has a high level of causal validity. For our sample, the study's target population is the residents of Barangay 292 Binondo, Manila, where a dirty ditch is causing mosquito problems, potentially leading to dengue fever. The researchers will conduct a non-probability sampling, or more precisely, a convenience sampling, with a target of 30 samples. The researchers chose the sampling technique because the respondents would receive treatment in the researchers' immediate vicinity. The convenience sampling technique has no pattern in terms of obtaining respondents. The researchers can recruit people who are available in the area at the time the study will be conducted. For the researchers' instrument, the study will collect data for the variables used in the study using two different types of instruments. The 5-point Likert rating scale will be used to gather data about the Lanthium domesticum coil and the commercially available mosquito coils in terms of smoke, smell, lifespan, and the ability to repel mosquitoes. The recognition type questionnaire will be used to determine which mosquito coil, Lanthium domesticum, or commercially available is preferable to use. The 5-point Likert rating scale, the purpose of this rating scale is to collect information about the efficacy of Lanthium domesticum and the commercially available mosquito coils. As a result, quantitative data are obtained which allows the researchers for relatively easy analysis. The second type of questionnaire is the recognition type. The purpose of this questionnaire is to determine which type of mosquito coil respondents prefer, Lanthium domesticum or a commercially available mosquito coil. It will allow respondents to choose one response from a predefined list of possible responses. To ensure the instrument's reliability, the researchers will consult with experts to validate it prior to use.
So for the intervention, the study compares two sets of mosquito coils, Lanthium domesticum, which is set A, and commercial mosquito coil, which is set. So the set A has ingredients which are water, dried lanzones peel powder, coconut shell flour builder or coconut charcoal, wood powder builder, cornstarch binder or charcoal briquette binder, and coconut oil for set. So the researcher will purchase commercial mosquito coil for a set. So the researcher will adhere to their own procedure to begin gather all of the required materials, ingredients, and tools. And the respondents will use the different coils and afterwards will complete the provided questionnaire. It will provide evidence of the field of Lanthium domesticum's effectiveness as a mosquito coil. For the data collection procedure, for the study to be carried out in Binondo, Manila, the researcher will need to obtain permission from the local barangay. In order to gather information, we will conduct studies in which residents will be allowed to utilize Lanthium domesticum pill mosquito coil and commercial mosquito coil as a mosquito repellent. In order to evaluate the success of our research in the face of a huge number of dengue cases, we will conduct this study. This investigation examines the product to determine whether or not it complies with the standard. So respondents will be given the two sets of mosquito coil by the researcher, who will then ask them to complete a survey inform on their experience with mosquito repellent. For the plan for data analysis, the results will be evaluated through the use of statistical analysis such as frequency and percentage distributions as well as the weighted average. The findings of the data collection will aid the researchers in developing an interpretation of studies findings. The percentage and frequency distribution will be used to classify the respondents according to their demographic profile, including age, gender, and social status, where P is equals to percentage, F equals to frequency of each group of respondents in the sample size, N equals to the total number of respondents. And the researcher will use the weighted mean to determine the effectiveness of Lanthium domesticum pill as mosquito coil and commercial mosquito coil in terms of smoke, smell, lifespan, and repelling mosquito, where W is equal to weighted average, N equals to number of terms to be average, and small w is equals to weights applied to x values, and x is equals to data values to be average. So the t-test will use to know if there's a significant difference between Lanthium domesticum quill as mosquito coil and commercial mosquito coil. This table shows the verbal interpretation based on the gathered data.
Our questionnaire is composed of four parts. The first part of our questionnaire will collect the respondents' demographic profile. The second part of our questionnaire will collect the quality of Lanthium domesticum pill mosquito coil repellent, specifically in terms of smoke, smell, lifespan, and in repelling mosquito. The third part of our questionnaire will collect the data about the quality of the commercial mosquito coil in terms of smoke, smell, lifespan, and in repelling mosquito. The last part of our questionnaire is the recognition type questionnaire, and it will be used to determine which mosquito coil, the Lanthium domesticum, or commercially available is preferable to use. And that is all for the presentation of Group 2. And now we are ready for the suggestion and recommendation of our dear panel.